Okay, now I'm going to start the class. It is female sex hormones, estrogens. I'm going to first discuss the female sex hormones with you. They are estrogens. How estrogens are formed in the body is cholesterol in the body gets converted to pregnenolone, which gets converted to 17-alpha hydroxy pregnenolone, which gets converted to dehydroepiandrosterone, and then it forms the 7-alpha hydroxy pregnenolone, gets converted to 17-hydroxyprogesterone, which gets converted to androstenedione, which gets converted to estrone, and then estradiol is formed. This is the feedback mechanism. In the hypothalamus, gonadotropin releasing hormone is produced, which acts on the anterior pituitary, which releases luteinizing hormone and follicular stimulating hormone. This luteinizing hormone acts on the corpus luteum and it secretes progesterone, and follicular stimulating hormone from the anterior pituitary, it releases luteinizing hormone and follicular stimulating hormone, which acts on the follicles, which releases estrogens. And when this feedback mechanism is it is stimulatory, and when the estrogen and progesterone its quantity increases in the body, they will inhibit the GnRH, and then there will be feedback mechanism which will lead to a decreased production of estrogen and progesterone. These are the various estrogens, and these can be natural. Natural are estradiol, estrone, estriol. These are synthetic, steroidal, non-steroidal. Now, pharmacokinetics. Pharmacokinetics of estrogen is it is well absorbed orally, parenterally, and transdermal administration. Their synthetic preparations are more commonly used. Estradiol iostas IM administration slowly absorbed. And metabolism, it is highly protein bound. It is metabolized by liver, and there is significant enterohepatic circulation. Now, estrogen preparations are various available like oral, extramuscular, intravenous, topical, transdermal. Estradiol is the transdermal patch, estradiol. Ethinyl estradiol, oral and conjugated estrogen are another oral preparations which are mostly used. Estrogen's actions are on the sex organs. It will lead to formation of the vagina, uterus, and pubertal changes will be there in the vagina, uterus, and fallopian tubes. There will be thickening of the vaginal epithelium, stratification and cornification, and the endometrium. There will be in the proliferative and secretory phase in the endometrium. Estrogen will be released, and it will be responsible for various changes in the endometrium. It is responsible for menstruation, and cervical secretion, watery alkaline secretion is produced due to the action of estrogens on the cervix. Secondary sexual characteristics, these are growth of breast and facial, pubic, axillary hair, feminine body contour will be formed. Now, metabolic effects are, it has the anabolic effect. There will be fusion of epiphyses, so there will be reduced growth due to estrogen. There can be retard the bone resorption, so osteoporosis can occur. Bony matrix expression get proteins get expression get increased, and it also calcium balance is promoted. It also increases the salt and water retention, impaired glucose tolerance, and a hyper increased blood coagulability, increased HDL, LDL. These are the other metabolic effects. Adverse effects will be nausea, vomiting, and there can be stunted growth due to fusion of epiphyses. Gynecomastia can occur, and adenocarcinoma of vagina and cervix can be there due to estrogen. Adverse effects in the offspring, in the female offspring of the mother taking the estrogen, there can be in the vaginal offspring, vaginal or cervix carcinoma in the female offspring can occur. There can be increased coronary and thromboembolic disorders, increased gallstone formation, increased HDL and decreased LDL levels. Now, critical uses is these are used in menopausal syndrome, in postmenopausal syndrome, senile vaginitis, and delayed puberty. These can be used. And these also used as the oral contraceptive, dysmenorrhea and dysfunctional bleeding, uterine bleeding in acne, hirsutism, osteoporosis, prevention of heart attacks, in the treatment of carcinoma of breast and prostate, and decrease the postpartum lactation. Now, hormone replacement therapy is the increased benefit of the estrogen. There will be relief of hot flushes and vasomotor symptoms. And young women with premature menopause, osteoporosis is reduced by the by the estrogen, and cognitive decline is it does not protect the cognitive decline. There is increased risk of breast cancer, gallstones, and
Excuse
migraine.
me, ma'am. Ma'am, please let the other students in the meeting.
Young women with premature, this I have done. Next is cardiovascular events. It is this Nutrio audios improves the HDL and LDL levels, retards atherogenesis, reduces the arterial impedance, prevents the hyperinsulinemia. Now, tibolone, it is the non-steroidal drug. It is the estrogen progesterone agonist, weak androgen in specific tissues. Its ADR is weight gain, increased facial hair, occasional vaginal spotting, and it can be used in hormone replacement therapy. It decreases the menopausal symptoms like hot flushes and chills and fever. And it also used in urogenital atrophy, psychological symptoms, libido and osteoporosis improved. This is the transdermal estradiol, which can be used in the patches available. And it can be used in the menopause. Systemic side effects are same. Next is anti-estrogens. Anti-estrogens, these are clomiphene citrate and fulvestrant. These are some selective estrogen receptor modulators. Means these act on the estrogen receptors and they modulate the action of estrogen. Means they are agonist in some site and antagonist at other site. They are tamoxifen, citrate, raloxifene, ormeloxifene. These are the SERMs. Now, next is clomiphene citrate. It is the estrogen antagonist and agonist at some sites. And these mechanism is it increases the GnRH and gonadotropin release, and it also has the inhibitory feedback mechanism. It can be used in the, it is agonist at the breast tissue. So it is used in the treatment of carcinoma breast. And it is also used in in vitro fertilization and male infertility. And side effects are, it can be used, it can cause polycystic ovary, multiple pregnancy, hot flushes. It is the pure estrogen, clomiphene citrate. This is estrogen antagonist. So it has the inhibitory action on the gonadotropin releasing mechanism. And it can be used as the in vitro fertilization and infertility. Fulvestrant is the selective estrogen receptor down regulator. It is pure estrogen antagonist. It will inhibit estrogen receptor dimerization and receptor degradation. And it can be used in the postmenopausal estrogen receptor breast cancer. Now, some selective estrogen receptor modulator, these can be tamoxifen citrate, raloxifene, tormifen. These are the various SERMs. Tamoxifen citrate, it is the estrogen antagonist at breast, blood vessels, but partial agonist at uterus. At uterus, it is partial agonist. So it means that it will be protective against the endometrial carcinoma, and in the bone, it is protective. So In the bone, it is protective. So it will be used in the treatment of osteoporosis. In the liver, it is protective. Liver carcinoma, hepatinoma can be, hepatoma can be used. And blood vessels, it is agonist. So it can lead to various thromboembolism in the blood. It can lead to thromboembolism in the blood. And these are the various symptoms. And it also increases it does not have any effect on the HDL and triglyceride level. Uses are, it can be used in the treatment of carcinoma of breast and hot flushes are the side effects. Vaginal discharge, cataract are the side effects of the tamoxifen citrate, which is the SERM. That is selective estrogen receptor modulator, agonist at some site and antagonist at some site of the estrogen. Raloxifene, it is the partial agonist at means it will be helpful in osteoporosis, and in CVS means in the HDL it will improve the lipid profile, and endometrium and breast it is antagonist, so it is protective against breast cancer, estrogen receptor breast cancer, and endometrium antagonism it will be protective against endometrial cancer. And its side effects is it is agonist at the blood, so it will cause venous thrombosis, pulmonary venous embolism can be caused. Ormeloxifene, it is the antagonist at breast and endometrium. Again, it is the protective against the endometrial cancer and breast cancer. And excessive bleeding with anovulatory cycle at menopause is regularized. Side effects are nausea, headache, fluid retention. This is the SERM. Now these are the aromatase inhibitors. Their mechanism is that they inhibit the production of estrogen in all the tissues. Means androgens do not get converted to estrogens by the action of aromatase enzyme. And these are letrozole, anastrozole, exemestane. And they have no deterioration in lipid profile, no increased risk of thromboembolism. And these are mostly used in the estrogen receptive breast carcinoma, early stage carcinoma of the breast, advanced stage and early stage. It can be used in the treatment. The next is letrozole. It reversibly inhibits the aromatase. It is also the aromatase inhibitor and is effective against the breast carcinoma, estrogen receptor breast carcinoma in post-menopausal age group. In estrozole, it is again aromatic receptor. Progesterone. Now again we are going to start the progesterone. Progesterones are as the secretory changes. They do the secretory changes in the endometrium of the female, and if ovum is fertilized, it prepares the endometrium for the preparation of pregnancy. It reduces oxytocin and ergonovin levels, decreases FSH, LH, and it also reduces the ovulation, and it makes the cervix thick and viscid. And in the respiration, it produces hypoventilation, body temperature, it increases the body temperature. Breast, it leads to increased size of the breast. Vagina, conified, and infiltration of WBC occurs. These are the functions of the progesterone. Clinical uses are these can be used as oral contraceptives, dysfunction, uterine bleeding when uterine bleeding is dysfunctional, polyimmunoaudiostictia, hormone replacement therapy, dysmenorrhea, premenstrual syndrome, endometriosis, endometrial cancer. These are the various clinical uses of the progesterone. Adverse effects can be breast engorgement, masculinization of the external genitalia, irregular bleeding, lower HDL, hyperglycemia. These are the various side effects. They can be also congenital anomalies with it. Masculinization of the fetus can occur. Pharmacokinetics is they have the first, progesterone has the first pass metabolism high, and these can be given as IM administration metabolized by liver. Antiprogesterone mifepristone, it is the 19th North steroid derivative. It blocks the progesterone glucocorticoids, that is mineralocorticoids and glucocorticoid receptors. And it also leads to production of prostaglandins, which leads to menstrual bleeding. When progesterone is reduced, prostaglandins are released, and which leads to menstrual bleeding. And uses are, these can be used in the termination of early pregnancy along with prostaglandin, in cervical ripening, in postcoital contraceptive. Mifepristone is the basic, most important drug in the postcoital contraceptive. Once a month contraceptive, progesterone, sensitive tumors, and Cushing syndrome. These are the uses, and it is the, it blocks the progesterone and glucocorticoid receptor. Decreased progesterone can lead to prostaglandins and bleeding, and it also sensitizes the myocardium to prostaglandins. Now next is oral contraceptives. Combined oral contraceptives. These are the contraceptives to reduce the incidence of pregnancy in female. These are estrogens and progesterone combined oral contraceptives. These are ethinyl estradiol and mestranol. And estrogens content ranges from 20 to 50 microgram. And these are low dose pills combined. Combined comes in, and now next is progesterones in the combined oral contraceptives can be norethistron or norgestrel, and 19 testosterone derivatives and spironolactone analog. These are the various progesterone derivatives, and estrogen derivatives are ethinyl estradiol. Types of combined oral contraceptives can be monophasic, contain estrogen and progesterone in same amount in each pill. Low dose pills, estrogen, ethinyl estradiol, and very low dose pill have the ethinyl estradiol as 15 to 25 microgram. Mala N, it is the levonorgestrel and ethinyl estradiol combination given in these quantities. And Mala D, norgestrel and ethinyl estradiol combination. Multiphasic can be, multiphasic means these are in biphasic or triphasic. Means biphasic is ethinyl estradiol is, and progesterone is given low in first 10 days and higher in next 11 days. Low dose is given in first 10 days and then next higher in next 11 days. Biphasic ethinyl estradiol and norgestrel are given in combination in low quantity in first 10 days and then higher in the next 11 days. Means it is given for 21 days and 7 days is the rest phase when no oral contraceptive is given. Now, triphasic is, these are given 1 to 6 days, this ethinyl estradiol and 0.5 milligram of the norgestrel, 7 to 11, 0.75 milligram of the norgestrel, levonorgestrel, and 12 days onwards up to 21 days, it is given 0.125 milligram of the levonorgestrel. These are the days, and which is again followed by resting period. Advantages are high efficacy rates, less breakthrough bleeding. These are the advantages. Now biphasic turn, triphasic turn, now transdermal. There can be transdermal preparation of ethinyl estradiol available, which can be given in the buttocks, abdomen, upper arm, torso for first 3 consecutive weeks. And progesterone only pills are the only progesterone pills which are used to block the ovulation, thick cervical mucus, decrease sperm penetration, and they also reduce the endometrial implantation. The port injections of medroxyprogesterone acetate is given, which are available. They also prevent the ovulation. These are progesterone only pills, decrease the frequency of GnRH pulses. Progesterone only pills are given in the forms of norethistron, norgestrel and etonorgestrel and medroxyprogesterone acetate. Progesta Surge is the intrauterine device, means it is the contraceptive device which is inserted in the uterus, and it releases slowly, it releases slow amounts of progesterone, and it can be used for the yearly basis, and it releases the levonorgestrel, and it can be used up to 5 years. All these act by local effects. Now, these are the emergency contraceptions, which is the levonorgestrel tablet given along with ethinyl estradiol. The quantities are given, and these should be given within 72 hours of the contact, and then repeated after 12 hours. And first dose is given 72 hours of contact, repeated after 12 hours. Overall is given and overall L is given. First dose is given within 72 hours and second dose is repeated. 2 tablets or 4 tablets are given after 12 hours. This is emergency contraception. Now, ulipristal is a selective progesterone receptor modulator. It is it is progesterone modulator which can be given as the contraceptive. And mifepristone 600 milligram, it can be used as the oral contraceptive, which is given 72 hours, within 72 hours. Now, how does this emergency hormonal contraceptive X is? It will delay the ovulation production, it will prevent the fertilization, or it prevents the ovulation, fertilization, or fertilized egg into the uterus implantation is also prevented. Clinical opinion is that emergency hormonal contraceptive is not the abortifacient, means it does not abort the fetus. Mechanism of action, I've already told you, they will inhibit the estrogens, will inhibit the FSH, means hypothalamus suppress the release of FSH and LH, and this estrogen will inhibit the FSH and progesterone will inhibit the LH surge, and then this is the basic mechanism of action. And this is there will be stromal edema, decidual erection, endometrium glands will be regressed, and thick and viscid and scanty cervical discharge will be there. They will impair the sperm transport and penetration, and they can also alter the tubal transport so that eggs cannot effectively move towards the uterus. Means tubal transport will be affected, fertilization will be affected, implantation will be affected, all these will be affected, and the cervical uterus will become thick and viscid, decidual erections, regression of endometrium, all these changes will occur, which will lead to reduced chances of pregnancy. This is how it works. This is same thing. Now, checklist for prescribing oral contraceptives is we have to not give the drugs. We have to rule out pregnancy and last menstrual period, and it should be given less than 6 months postpartum and lactating. It should not be given. Cigarette smoking, migraine, jaundice, liver disease, history of breast malignancy, genital tract, this is endometrial or cervix malignancy. We have not to give the oral contraceptives. Any stroke history, myocardial thrombosis, all these are the checklists for prescribing oral contraceptives. Advantages are these are highly effective. There is rapid return of fertility after stoppage, completely controlled by the woman and can be stopped at any time, unlike other methods. And this is no need to do anything at the time of intercourse. Advantages are they prevent the pregnancy as there is maternal mortality rate is very high. 2/5 of these deaths can be prevented by use of oral contraceptives. And cyclical stabilization, for the stabilization of the menstrual cycle, these oral contraceptives can be given. Withdrawal bleeding is predicted. Sometimes withdrawal bleeding is predicted. And cure of menstrual disorders like dysmenorrhea, dysfunctional bleeding, ovulation pain, all these can be treated by oral contraceptives. Menorrhagia is increased breathing. Increased duration of breathing is metrorrhagia. And norgestrol can be given. Protection against cancer like endometrial cancer, ovarian cancer, choriocarcinoma. Benign tumors can be protected like follicular cyst, corpus luteum cyst, fibrocystic fibroadenomatous disease. All these can be protected. Protection against diseases like ectopic pregnancy, when the uterus fertilized ovum gets implanted at the site away from the uterus. Pelvic inflammatory disease, anemia, when there is inflammation of the pelvis leading to increased bleeding, acne, hirsutism, increase hair growth. All these can be the oral contraceptives can be used in dysfunction, uterine bleeding, endometriosis, and osteoporosis. Minor side effects will be nausea, vomiting, lack of appetite, menorrhagia, irregular bleeding, amenorrhea, absence of bleeding, or oligomenorrhea, scanty bleeding can occur. Breast changes like heaviness and tenderness can occur. Chloasma, there can be chloasma formation on the cheeks of the mother, and then weight gain, acne. These are all mood changes can occur. These are the minor side effects. Major side effects are there can be risk of myocardial infarction, and there can be venous thromboembolism because the estrogens they cause the venous thromboembolism. Hemorrhagic and ischemic stroke can occur. Cardiovascular. Now next is estrogens are responsible for venous thromboembolism, and estrogen and progesterone are responsible for arterial thrombosis. There can be increase in blood clotting factors, increased platelet aggregation. Hypertension can occur because of the oral contraceptives, because these hormones they increase the angiotensinogen level and renin activity. Salt and water retention can occur. Lipid profile can increase. There can be worsening of the lipid profile by progesterones, and estrogens they have a protective effect on the lipid profile. They will increase the HDL and LDL levels. Now next is genital carcinoma. Genital carcinoma, there can be increase of the vaginal, cervical and breast carcinoma by the use of contraceptives. Hepatomas can occur. Now interactions is there can be enzyme inducers like phenytoin, phenobarbital. They can increase the metabolism of hormones and then cause the failure of contraception. They can induce the metabolism and cause the failure of contraception. Suppression of intestinal microflora can occur, and there can be deconjugation of estrogen excreted in bile fails to occur by the ampicillin and tetracycline. So enterohepatic circulation is interrupted and blood levels they fall. These are the various interactions with drugs. There can be intestinal microflora suppression, or there can be deconjugation of the estrogen excreted in bile fails to occur. Next is absolute contraindications are thromboembolic or coronary or cardiovascular diseases, and overt malignancies of the genitals, congenital hyperlipidemia, hypertension. All the adverse effects are the side contraindications of the oral contraceptives. There can be any valvular heart disease or hepatitis, major surgery to avoid risk of post, any major surgery, or post-operative thromboembolism, prolonged immobilization. These are the absolute contraindication of the oral contraceptives. Relative contraindications, these are hypertension, migraine, smoking, obesity, diabetes. Indications of withdrawal are when there is migraine or visual or speech disturbances. These are the indications of withdrawal of the oral contraceptives, like severe leg cramps, excessive weight gain, severe depression. Patients wants pregnancy. When the patient wants pregnancy, then we have to withdraw the contraceptives. Non-contraceptive uses of this estrogen and progesterone are dysfunctional uterine bleeding, endometrial hyperplasia, endometriosis. Endometriosis is when the endometrial tissue is found in the other areas of the body. Then that is endometriosis, endometrial hyperplasia, and dysfunctional uterine bleeding, endometrial carcinoma. These are the non-contraceptive uses. Next is reduce the incidence of the ovarian cyst, less dysmenorrhea, pelvic inflammatory disease, ectopic pregnancy when the embryo or the zygote it gets implanted at site other than the uterus. Any irregular menstrual cycle is the other uses of the oral contraceptives. Now, dexamethasone acetate, this is the hormonal ingredient, estrogen related. This is the injectable progesterone only contraceptives, and this is long acting. And its side effects are that it can delay the return to fertility after stopping the drug. Centromon saheli, it is the SERMs, it is ormeloxifene, which is the SERM, that is selective estrogen receptor down regulator. It prevents the implantation of the fertilized ovum, and thus it is a non-steroidal and potent anti-estrogenic, and weak estrogenic effects are there at some sites. It is avoided in PCOD, liver and kidney disease. And male contraceptive is Gossipol, non-steroidal component. Now these are the GnRH analogs which can be used as the oral contraceptives. They decline the sperm density, sperm motility, decrease testosterone level. Now drugs acting on the uterus. These are uterine stimulants. These are oxytocin, posterior pituitary hormone oxytocin, ergot-alkaloids like ergometrin with hylergometrin, prostaglandins PGE2 alpha, PGF2 alpha, 15 methyl F2 alpha, misoprostol. These are the prostaglandins, ergot-alkaloids and oxytocin. These are uterine stimulants. Oxytocin, it acts as a synthesized from posterior pituitary. This is its pharmacokinetics, that is, it can be given intravenously or intranasally. It has the nil plasma protein binding. It increases the force and frequency of the uterine contractions, and thus, like a physiological labor, in the labor it is used. It increases the uterine contractions, and it also sensitizes the estrogen, sensitizes the uterus to oxytocin. And it can also be used as milk ejection reflex can be increased in the breast. CVS, it can cause vasodilatation, so it can cause fall in BP and reflex tachycardia. Therapeutic uses is induction of labor, in toxemia of pregnancy, in uterine inertia. Physiological role, basically the physiological role is in the labor, and in milk ejection reflex, which will increase the chances of suckling by infants, stimulates the mechanoreceptors in the nipple, means in breast sucking, breast milk sucking, it is helpful. Therapeutic uses, it can be used in postpartum hemorrhage or cesarean section. Ergometrin is generally preferred. In postpartum hemorrhage, it causes the vasoconstriction of the blood vessels. So it can be used in the postpartum hemorrhage and cesarean section, in breast engorgement, in mid-trimester abortion. For the abortion, for the induction of abortion, we can give oxytocin. Oxytocin can be given as the intranasal spray for the few minutes before suckling. Adverse effects will be that its strong intra and uterine contractions can lead to premature birth, and fetal death can occur because of the presenting part to incompletely dilated blood canal, forcing the presenting part of the baby through incompletely dilated birth canal. Oxytocin side effects are these: jaundice, asphyxia, hypoxia, and then this is pitocin, and syntocin is the analog of this oxytocin available preparations. Desamino-oxytocin is another oxytocin. Its main function is induction of labor and breast engorgement. Ergometrin is the alkaloid. Its function is that it increases the force and uterine contractions of the mother, and low concentration. In the low dose it is contraction with the relaxation, and high dose it is contraction. And it is the potent vasoconstrictor in the CVS. In the GIT, it increases the peristalsis leading to diarrhea. Ergometrin, it controls and prevents the postpartum hemorrhage, and after C-section or instrumental delivery to prevent uterine atony, and it also ensures the normal involution of the uterus after the delivery of the baby. It is available in these forms: stable methergin and injection methergin. This is ergometrin. Prostaglandins, they also stimulate the uterine contractions and also cause the cervical ripening. They produce luteolysis, decrease progesterone secretions, prevent the implantation of the fertilized ovum. They can prevent the implantation of the fertilized ovum. They decrease the progesterone secretions. Now, the prostaglandins available are PGE2 and PGF2 alpha and PGA2. These are used in therapeutic abortions. They can cause abortions, and they can also induce the labor. Tocolytics are uterine relaxants which delay or decrease the uterine motility. Example is beta-2 adrenergic agonist, salbutamol, terbutaline, which cause uterine relaxation. They suppress the premature labor. And isoxaprine, these are uterine relaxants. Magnesium sulfate, it controls the convulsions and it also suppresses the uterine contractions. It can cause arrhythmias. Magnesium sulfate. This is another, when beta 2 agonists are contraindicated, you can give magnesium sulfate as the tocolytic. Calcium channel blockers, they will cause relaxation of the uterus. They will reduce the tone of myometrium opposed the contractions. Tachycardia and hypotension are the side effects. Oxytocin antagonist is the atosebin. It can suppress the premature contractions and postpone preterm labor. Side effects are nausea, vomiting, rash. Tocolytics, again, these are prostaglandin synthesis inhibitors, which inhibit the synthesis of prostaglandins like aspirin, ibuprofen, indomethacin. They can delay the labor process, and but it carries risk to mother and fetus as there is closure of ductus arteriosus and oligohydramnios, decrease in the amniotic fluid volume, and closure of ductus arteriosus can occur. So these are the side effects. Ethynyl alcohol can be given to reduce the uterine contractions. Progesterone, it decreases the sensitivity of the uterus to oxytocin. Progesterone can be given, it reduces the sensitivity of the uterine stimulant, which is oxytocin, to the uterus. Miscellaneous drugs are nitrites, diazoxide, anticholinergics, phenothiazines, and general anesthetics. These are the various other drugs which can be used as uterine relaxants. And progesterone, it can be given. It can be given. It can be used for threatened and habitual abortion. Thank you. This is all. Today's class is over.